So this is Jack Densmore, and I want to title this, I think I will title this, How Beta Males Have Sex. And this clown was one of those guys apparently who did practical joke, whatever, prank videos, whatever, the losers that do those, the low bar humor, the ones that expose people to uncomfortable situations, victimize people, in my opinion, for his benefit and for nothing more than clout and cash. So already I believe this guy is a predator. I don't think prank jokes or prank videos, those are the biggest low bar of the internet. And in my opinion, should be banned to a certain degree. This clown did those, and that's what he got allegedly famous for or something. So this low bar, low IQ got famous for his BS videos, which I don't think is an accomplishment at all. So it shows you what this clown will do to benefit himself. So he apparently gets with a chick, and I'll show you why he got in trouble and charged and apparently convicted. He's talking about how in this he's appealing, but that means, just like in the US, he was convicted. So the appeal is only to attack technical parts of the case and not to retry the case. So he's already had his chance to confront the witness that accused him, had a chance to cross-examine her. You have a right to cross-examine your witnesses. And apparently somebody found that her accusations were somewhat legitimate or legitimate whatever. So this clown, and he doesn't even realize why he got in trouble. So he still has a lot of growth to do. Let's watch it.
I used to be until I had my life torn apart by a false accusation. Since this situation went public, I've received death threats, I've been banned from establishments, all of my YouTube channels have been taken down, I've lost friends, I've lost work opportunities, pretty much everything. I'm innocent, that's all I gotta say really. Everybody knows I'm innocent. I did not want to have to make this video, but I've been silent on this issue for as long as possible, and enough is enough. My appeal was this month, and I'm waiting on the decision, so I still have to be extremely careful about what I say. My goal with this video is to share what happened in a non-biased way as I possibly can. I'm going to try my best not to be emotional and just be completely neutral here and share objective facts and evidence to show.
He definitely won't be neutral. He's totally on his side, obviously. Not a problem, but he messed up. He messed up, and the big contention in this case is that he took a video and he calls it a consent video. And I can read through his BS, you know. Now, being a police officer for the Houston Police Department for 22 years, I understand people's BS, and I've championed victims who have been accused of these crimes, as well as arrested people who have made false complaints. So, you know, I know both sides of this issue, but the biggest part of this thing, and this is a man like myself, as a private citizen, 50-year-old, I've dated heavily, a lot, and never been accused of any of this stuff. Easily in the triple digits of women I've slept with, not a flex, and I wouldn't want to say the exact number. I don't even know the exact number, but never have I been accused of these things, because there's a way that you respectfully have sex with women, and this is how beta males do it. But he took a video of her apparently having oral sex with him, and then claimed he was trying to get consent during that video. So this clown is basically recording her having oral sex, and then tries to get a consent video. So, and then that's pretty much why she gets upset, because she wants that video back. And this clown had, in the amount of women I've had sex with, I think I have one video, and it was because the female wanted it, and that was years and years and years ago. One, he's probably doing it all the time, consent video. This loser hides behind consent video. And by the way, I've never done a consent video because I don't need to. I know and can feel the consent. This guy doesn't know how that feels. He says that she was having sex enthusiastically. That's his word.
My innocence. The timelines of the encounter, inconsistencies in the evidence and testimony, and that there are enough inconsistencies to make you go read the full testimony yourself. Legally, I'm not allowed to say as much as I would like to, but I'm going to do my best to share what I can. Before anything else, I do want to say this. I believe survivors of sexual assault and false accusations of sexual assault deserve to be taken seriously and treated with compassion. I've been through both. Nothing I'm about to say is meant to minimize real harm. That being said, let's get into it. In February 2021, I was falsely accused and charged with sexual assault from a...
Well, he says falsely accused. That's his words. He apparently was rightfully convicted. So you're not necessarily falsely confused, sir. Falsely accused.
Encounter between myself and a woman in August 2020. I'll refer to her as the accuser. My legal team and I spent several years going back and forth to get records and evidence to help my case, and we finally went to trial in 2024, and the judge wrongfully convicted me. I say wrongfully as I have always...
That's his opinion. In a court of law, he was convicted. You can be wrongfully indicted because you can indict a hand sandwich for indictment, probably similar in Canada, and in United States, you just need probable cause, which is more likely than not. That's a very low bar. But he was convicted. That means he's had a full trial, evidence put on, and his defense came back and cross-examined witnesses. So that's heavy. He's missed a heavy burden there. So they convicted him.
And I will explain why in a bit. Based on how things go with my appeal, there are two options. Either the appellate court will order me a new trial, or I'll have to spend 3 years in jail for something I didn't do.
I think he's going to do 3 years.
It's essentially over. And in the meantime,
and his life is not over for 3 years.
Documentaries and all kinds of misinformation put out. So now I'm going to go over some information to help you get a better grip of what actually happened. At the time of the incident, I was a YouTuber, actor, filmmaker, and primarily known for pranks. I've been working
primarily known for pranks, doing lame ass stuff at other people's expense to further my career. I have no respect for this loser or individuals who do this type of stuff. He should have never been famous, and you're seeing when you try to cheat the game and you became famous, the game will cheat you back.
Earning a living as a content creator since approximately 2016. I met the accuser after matching with her on Tinder. Tinder is an app for people to go and hook up with. I recognized her from one of my party videos, McMaster Hoko 2019. On that day, this person...
Tinder is an app for you to meet women. Your job as a man is to have that match lead to a sexual interaction. It's not made to hook up. He thinks that it's made for you to hook up. I get what he's saying. But a little bit in his language, he messes up because he has to create that. Just because you match with her does not mean you're there to hook up. So, here we go.
Managed to find me and my camera crew in a crowd of 10,000 people in order to be interviewed. After matching on Tinder, we messaged on Instagram.
So he recognizes her. This girl's already done a lot to reach this guy as far as when he had his camera crew. So this guy has had a lot of sex with ladies that had sex with him probably because of who he was, you know, his clout and all that, but not for what he was. You want women to have sex with you for what you are, not who you are as far as your status.
I'm texting and flirting before agreeing to meet up. The accuser drove approximately 30 minutes from Oakville to my house in Hamilton, Ontario.
Means nothing.
I showed her around, and then she asked for a tour of my YouTube studio. I said,
okay, so if you're with someone who's highly interested in you, this is what this loser doesn't get. But he probably had a nice place, so he's trying to use his status and show her around. But no woman wants a tour of your place, okay? I mean, you can do it, but in my experience, I'm just going to say, they already know what's going to happen. If I'm dealing with a woman, I am very direct. I am very direct in what's going to happen when they get here. They know what I'm looking for. I'm looking to have sex. And I only want to have sex with women that are highly desirous of having sex with me. They need to be on a 10. I'll be somewhere on a 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. But they want to have sex with me more than I want to have sex with them. That's who you want to deal with. And there is no doubt what I'm telling them. And I am clear that I am looking to, you know, and it's not even I'm looking. We would have already talked about it. I would have been direct and saying, we're going to have sex at some point, not in that like very, you know, just more suave. But yeah, they know. There's no. This is not a, you know, even if it was a date, we're gonna have a date and we're gonna come home, whatever, and she will be enthusiastic and on board. You don't do a fake date because you just want to try to get her your place, and that's what he does. He claims they're gonna go hiking and he's gonna show her around. And that's where he gets in trouble because he doesn't want to go hiking. You'll see.
That we should go for a hike. We then left my house and drove to a hiking trail. But
See, this is his little BS, right? He tries to make it. She even says in the court records that he planned this fake hike, which he did. He left his, and he wants to put show the facts that he left his house. Well, he did leave his house, but then he makes all kinds of excuses on why they're not going hiking. Oh, it's busy, it's dark, we need to go back and Netflix and chill. Did at any point you make it clear that when we get back to my place, we're going to be, banging like crazy? No, he didn't. He's just acting like we're just, Netflix and chill, another beta male way to get sex. No, you tell her what the hell the deal is. We're going to go watch a movie, and during the movie, I'm going to bang you. That's what you tell her. And if she's cool with that, fine. If she's not, a woman always has a right to say no. You want her to be fully aware of what's going on so that she can make the choice before she gets locked up with you inside an enclosed place. Because I will say this, and this is not to say, women have no, capacity to lie or, they should lie. It's that women we all know they're the vulnerable sex. Men can overpower them easy. And women know this. They don't sometimes tell us, as much as how scared they are, but when you get them in an enclosed place with a man, they can be very fearful because they know you can overpower them. And sometimes women will go through with a sexual act that they didn't want to, so they don't get their butt kicked, or the fear of getting their butt kicked. Whether she still gave consent, which is good, but she can regret giving that consent. And I'm not calling it any moral right to that. It's that can happen. This is life. You don't even want a possibility that she regretted that decision. And that's the thing is this guy's having sex with women that aren't really into him because he finagled his way in there with this fake ass hike and this fake ass, let's Netflix and chill. He didn't want to go to a hike. He didn't want to watch a movie. He was too scared to tell her what he really wanted because he's a bitch. Yeah, a bitch. And that's why he got in trouble. And that's why you should be in trouble, sir. Don't be a bitch. Tell her what you want. Clown.
It was getting dark, so we agreed to return to my house and watch Netflix and chill. Upon returning to my house, we did just.
Where did he say he wanted to have sex?
And we had a consensual encounter.
That's what
I'm
he
not proud
said.
to admit this, but at the time, I was sleeping around with a bunch of different women. The accuser also had multiple different partners.
Listen to that clown. He's not proud. I would be proud to admit that. There's nothing wrong with sleeping around with women who want to sleep with you. There's a problem with sleeping around with women who don't want to sleep with you.
Recently before me, as per DNA evidence, as well as confirming sleeping.
And he tries to passively aggressively talk her down. There's nothing wrong with her sleeping around either, clown.
An alleged boyfriend just a few days prior to meeting me.
And you
Now,
didn't
to
care,
clarify,
nor
this
do you
is not
care,
a
nor will you
judgment
ever
of
care.
character. Rather, it's to provide context on our generation's modern culture of frequent hookups. In retrospect, I definitely should.
This clown thinks it's on modern culture. This has been going on since the dawn of time. Men sleep around, women sleep around. Dude, it ain't about modern culture. Now, losers like you have been given access to women because you can do a practical joke, a prank channel. And that's why y'all get in trouble. Back in the day, your ass would have been dealt with.
Sleeping with these women. But I was a young guy, and I was famous on the internet. I would often film a quick consent video when having sexual encounters with strangers that knew I had a large following as a proactive way to.
Well, I guarantee in his little Google search here, it doesn't say start getting oral sex and then do your consent video. That's your problem. And you embarrassed her. And whatever comes from that, you played with fire, bro. And that's wrong. You're a clown for doing that. Taking a video, 2 minutes in, he says it, 2 minutes in, and then he tried to do consent, allegedly. What a clown. And that's where this whole thing starts because she's scared. He still has that video, and he's going to share it, as I would be too.
Sure, I had clear consent from whoever I was hooking up with, especially women who have been featured in a previous video of mine. This is not a normal way to live, but it is common in society and especially amongst athletes, celebrities, and public figures. So during our encounter, I attempted to film a consent video, and she informed me that
athletes, whatever, all that. Well, if they're leading with their money and they're leading with their wallet, Shannon Sharp, you're gonna have to do those videos. If you're having sex with women who want to have sex with you, no videos needed, clown. And don't do it 2 minutes into your oral sex.
wants to be recorded. So I stopped the recording and deleted whatever was briefly recorded.
No, he didn't.
We then continued what we were doing. having a consensual sexual encounter. I want to be very clear here. The encounter was enthusiastic, ongoing. There was no confusion about it. She was consenting, as was I.
So you're a woman where this man could easily kick your butt. And he's now been a weirdo and recorded you doing something. You're on your knees or wherever she is in a vulnerable position. And she says, I don't want you to record a consent video. And now he still wants to go on with and he says he deleted it. Why is he still, she didn't want to have a video of the consent. She also probably didn't want to have a video of her doing oral sex with this clown. So, what is he thinking? What is he thinking? She already said, don't take a video of me doing oral sex.
She communicated consent in many different ways, particularly verbally, asking me to spank her and telling me during sex, fuck daddy, amongst other things.
According to him.
But you can go and read the things that she said to me in the transcript. After finishing our encounter, we chatted briefly before I politely told her I had to be up early in the morning, and I asked her to leave.
So now he's lying. So obviously, this is what she knows. And women experience this a lot, and they'll get tired of it. Don't be this guy. There's no problem with you having your leave, but you show respect, always. This clown has lied, said he had to get up early in the morning, which he didn't, and he kicked her out, probably with disrespect, because he only saw her as an object, right? He only saw her as a piece of meat, right? And women don't mind being objectified by guys they respect and by guys they like. She hasn't had the chance to earn respect for this guy, okay? So you don't just kick her out flat on her face and say, get out of here. That's what happened to Weinstein, these beta males. Because you have respect for someone who had desire for you, who came over and shared their body with you and were intimate with you. You show respect. Doesn't mean you can't have them leave. Sure, you can have them leave, but you don't lie about it. Oh, I got to get up early. This clown didn't have the balls to tell her his truth. Hey, look, had a great time, but, I'm going to go ahead and I'd rather be alone right now. And, I really appreciate you coming. Let me pull out the red carpet, walk you to your car. Do you need anything? Hey, call me when you get home. Let me know you got home safe. Always works great. And let me know, had a great time. Text that to her.
That was the conclusion of the date. Quoting from the court transcript, although the accuser originally told police that she was obviously fine with being asked to leave, her testimony at trial revealed otherwise. In cross-examination, she admitted that the dismissal did not feel good, and she agreed with trial counsel that she felt worthless because she was treated as a conquest or not on Mr. Densmore's bedpost.
Yeah, that's how you treated her.
In hindsight, I can absolutely see why this would make her feel bad.
Yeah.
She traveled to see me.
Yeah, what a clown.
Family about me and our
what a clown.
Time. In particular, some high expectations for me. Kicking her out was rude and dismissive. I didn't think that way at the time, but I regret how I handled that, and if I could go back, I would do things differently. With that being said, all of the sexual activity that
and don't do fake hikes.
When I say consensual, I don't mean ambiguous or neutral. I mean it was enthusiastic, encouraging, and ongoing, and I testified to that under oath. To put it simply, the whole thing was a typical one-night stand. Just to be clear, my charge had nothing to do with
according to you.
Video. It was entirely based on an allegation that I non-consensually assaulted this person. This was shocking to me. It absolutely destroyed my mental health. And for months, I was so confused. What the am I being charged with? We do know what the reasons were now.
This is why you don't have sex like this. It will fuck with you.
But from what I've been explained by legal counsel, this makes it incredibly hard to defend yourself at trial. For example, if there is evidence that we're bringing that contradicts their something about is to see if he took pictures or videos of you. The accuser, yes. Lawyer, and in your mind, you would agree that that would entail them having to at least go to his house, talk to him. Accuser, yes. And taking his phone.
So, this is what she's talking about. He took pictures of her. This is the problem. On a first date, I wouldn't recommend doing this. If you're going to take videos or pictures, you clown, you wait, gain trust. You just want to have a good experience the first time. They don't know you. You're building trust with that person. So, taking pictures and videos, they don't know you and then you kick her out. You're going to, there is a progression. There is a progression during sexual encounters. Your first time, I would recommend somewhat of vanilla sex. Then you build. She still has to get to know you. Still has to get to trust you. Who are you, right? She can still have sex with you, not a problem, but trust is important.
This in cross-examination with my lawyer. However, these new allegations she made in her testimony are totally different from her actual statement to police. To police, she said, so we went to his room and we were like just sitting on his bed and he put on a show on Netflix and then he put his arm around me and then after a few minutes kissed me, which I was okay with. And then he told me like, take off my shirt, which I was comfortable with because I was like wearing a dress underneath it. So in her original story, she claims that I politely requested her to take her shirt off and she did it herself voluntarily and comfortably. However, at trial, she said, he started by removing my shirt and pulling down my dress so that my breasts were exposed. Then in cross-examination, she further insisted, again, as part of this aggressive encounter she's trying to paint, no, he didn't ask me to take it off. He just started to take it off. My lawyer confirmed, are you sure? She confirmed, yes, that is how it happened. However, my lawyer then confronted her with her own original statement to police, and he reminded her that this is what she said, and then he asked her again what actually happened. She then confirmed her original story, which is that I asked her to take her shirt off, and she did so voluntarily. My lawyer further confirmed asking, because you're the one that took your shirt off with his request, and that was your way of showing interest or consenting, right? To which she responded, yes. This is a clear example of willingness to intentionally remove and omit participation and change details to suit the
She was kissing. Big deal. You haven't gotten anywhere.
narrative of an aggressive, non-consensual encounter, which to put it simply, just never happened. Moving on. There were fabricated bruises. The accuser claims that I aggressively bit her breasts, causing bruising, swelling, and red marks for days after. On August 6th, less than 1 day after our date, the nurse examined her breasts and found 0 bruising, 0 swelling.
So he probably didn't. She didn't really want to have sex with him, but he probably doesn't even know he's not good at it, and she wasn't that into it. So he probably did bite her. This guy don't. I mean, again, how beta males have sex.
0 red marks. This was totally fabricated. From the appeal, in her examination in chief, the accuser described an aggressive sexual assault. It began when Mr. Densmore removed her shirt and pulled down her dress, exposing her breasts. She testified that Mr. Densmore kissed and bit her breasts, which was quite painful, and that the biting left bruises and red marks that lingered for 2 to 3 days after their encounter. He then pushed her onto her back, got on top of her, and penetrated her digitally. Page 34.
Okay, I'm gonna quit going through all that mess, but he also doesn't. I mean, me personally, fingered her. That's for teenagers. Everyone's got their technique, but bro, fingers inside a woman's snatch, that's rookie shit, man. It is. Yeah. When you're in high school, that's fine because you don't know what one feels like, but women don't tend to like their vagina penetrated by anything other than your dick. It just is what it is. So, fingering women, that shows you clown.
And how did you then end up going for a hike? What happens after that?
Oh, here's a good one.
Suggested that we drive.
Here's a good one. So, this is her story of the hike. Here we go.
To her therapist, giving a completely inaccurate statement about the date to her therapist with a very misleading implication.
Not
As a
really.
result, the therapist tells her with authority he was clearly a predator, skilled in having her make small changes to their plans until she was in his apartment. She then takes...
That's actually true, but I wouldn't say skilled, but that's what he did. He made changes to he said he wanted to go hiking, right? And then they don't go hiking, and then he's like, well, let's just go back to my place and watch Netflix. So he did change the date. The date was supposed to be hiking to where maybe she could get more comfortable with him, because at this point, she's not probably real comfortable sleeping with him because he hasn't said anything about it, right? So he did make small changes to the plan. This is what beta males do. They'll wait, and then they'll be like, let's go on a date at 7, and then they'll claim that something's happened, and oh, let's meet at 10, and oh, it's 10 o'clock. Just come over. They run out the clock. That's what this guy's doing. He's running out the clock. He's not skilled because he didn't learn this anywhere. That's just when a man is afraid to tell a woman, hey, I just want to have sex and I don't want to go on a hike. That's what he should have said. Would have prevented all this.
Various responses she gets from her therapist and sends them.
He's a predator for sure.
Family. Also from April 18th. Yeah, Dr. Therapist said that he seemed very calculated in the way he acted.
Yeah.
Like he had thought it out.
He did.
Then I'm not the first.
No, you're not.
So now she's giving false information.
No, he is. She's definitely not the first woman that he's lied to them, I guarantee, about having a date. He doesn't have a date. He's done this fake hike, and he hasn't told them that he's wanted to have sex with them. Yeah, this is how he operates. So I don't know what he's mad about. This is what he does, and he's calculated in doing that. And he's claiming these are lies. There's no lies.
The therapist is responding, and then she's taking what the therapist is responding and sending it to her friends using the authority of the therapist.
Yeah.
This is one of the many messages that the accuser sent to her friends and family. You can see more in the May 31st closing arguments. Now, during testimony at trial, her statement changed. April 12th, you said the tour was approximately 15 minutes, nothing unusual. What happens after that? She answers, then he suggests that we go for a hike. Oh.
Yeah.
And how did you then
Still
end up
fake.
going for a hike? What happens after that?
Uh-huh.
He suggested that we drive to a trail that was close by to his house. So I agreed to that. And we started driving.
Look how far he's taken this thing. He drove to one. This is all the fake date. Go ahead. Yeah.
So the accuser admitted that actually I suggested we go for a hike.
Uh-huh.
Which was the original plan.
Uh-huh.
And then we left the house.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Where did you suggest having sex? I don't hear that. Where's that? That's important. You're missing that part. Now, I want to hear how you got out on the hiking trail and started walking.
Crabs driving towards the escarpment. Accuser. Mm-hmm. Do you eventually stop somewhere? Accuser. No. He says that it's busy and that we shouldn't bother going on a hike because it's getting dark out.
That's his bitch move right there. No, so he drove to some place. It's busy and wouldn't bother. This is where her BS meter goes way up. Okay, way up. So yeah, he didn't go on the hike. It was a ruse to get her to his house. 100%.
Happens. Accuser. So then he suggests going back to his house. Are you able to give us an estimate about how long you were trying to locate a hiking trail?
So 15, 20 minutes looking. Did he say anywhere in there he wanted to have sex? No, he didn't.
Again, not long, maybe...
That would have prevented
15,
all this.
20 minutes. And so, did you agree with his suggestion to go back to his house? Accuser. I did. We then returned to the house after she agreed to return and watch Netflix. And
okay.
Literally,
wait, hold up. So, I don't know. She agreed to come back and watch Netflix and chill, but then you changed it to kissing and taking her clothes off. Did you take it? I haven't heard him say at one point he's told her he's wanted to do any of this. Nothing. You gotta be direct. She has to know what you're thinking. Especially when you're a clown like this and has sex because women know who you are and not having sex for what you are, as like who you are inside as a person.
The date, August 5th. She then goes and tells a very different and inaccurate version the same night. So many implications, opinions, responses, and collusion and influence.
I would be so embarrassed to be telling this story about a woman who didn't really want to have sex with me and then accuses me of sexual assault. That's embarrassing.
These are just a few.
You want women to have sex with you enthusiastically, like they can't stop not having sex with you. And they're not at all regretful.
If I included them all in this video, it would be several hours long. These inconsistencies, inaccuracies, whatever you'd like to call them, are not in comparison to my statements or testimony. All of these things are her word versus her own word. These are not even taking into consideration my testimony, where I disagree with basically everything she's claiming. Even being as polite as possible, there is an alarming pattern of changing stories, contradicting and even fabricating physical evidence to depict an aggressive encounter that simply didn't happen. There are dozens of instances from this person that clearly lowered their...
It was more important for you to get sex than how you got the sex. That's what's important. Just like you made your money. It was more important on getting the money instead of how you made the money. Putting people at looking like, you know, your little prank videos. You don't care what that made people feel like. You don't care how this chick felt. You just wanted to put your wiener in something, dude. That's what got you in trouble.
Say these things. This is all available in cross-examination from April 18th, as well as highlighted in closing arguments on May 31st. This was particularly devastating for me, my friends, and my family to have to sit through. And
Well,
this is why
next time have the balls to tell a woman you want to have sex and don't go on a fake hike.
There was reasonable doubt, and the person to have that reasonable doubt was her. Now, as somebody that has been a victim of assault myself, I know what it's like to feel like you're in denial about what happened to you, and you do have thoughts like, am I making this all up, right? But this is so much more than that. And remember, credibility is essentially the only available thing for the defense to question in a he said, she said trial with no evidence. So if changing your story numerous times, potential collusion from therapists and others influencing you, admissions of potentially making
The
your story...
therapist was not in collusion. She was just telling her what's up.
...motives to fabricate, as well as direct evidence of fabricating physical evidence, and for lack of better words, a continuous inability to recall basic facts and testify credibly isn't reasonable doubt, then what even is reasonable doubt? Seriously, if this isn't reasonable doubt, then what is? What can anybody in this position do if they...
What they do, sir, is they build sexual tension, they flirt, they become somebody that people want to have sex with, not get their money and status as the thing women want to have sex with, is what you did. She wanted to have sex with your YouTube channel, and they tell them what's going to happen, so that they know, and there's a clear understanding of why they are dealing with each other. That's what you do. You don't go on fake hikes, and you don't take videos on a first date. Try that.
Now, can choose to ignore all of that. Think about if what was happening to me was happening to you.
It wouldn't happen to me.
Your partner, or your brother.
This wouldn't
sister,
happen.
dad,
See, trying to get you
friend.
scared. And that wouldn't happen to me.
Go over.
We're not beta males like you, bro. We're not beta. I tell a woman what's going to happen. I'm not afraid to say I want to bang her when she's coming over. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid to say I want to bang the hell out of you. So it'd be great when you come over that we get to bang each other. Not, hey, let's go on a hike. Look for the hike. Fake hike. And then come home. And then still not tell her. And then ask her to take her clothes off. Beta male.
Is there a lack of credibility? And if so, is this lack of credibility enough for reasonable doubt? As you'll read in transcripts, there were multiple motives to fabricate. We concluded that the main one was she thought I still had a photo or video of her, and for whatever reason, thought that I was actually going to post it online.
The fact you had one's the problem.
I would never post, publish, or share a...
No, how about I would never take a video? How about that? How about ask her? How about tell her before she even came over, I'm gonna record the shit out of this. Oh, hell yeah. And then she's like, yeah. You don't do that. You start taking it without her consent.
Of being in the previous video.
Look at the dancing monkey. The dancing monkey.
Her friends saying, I think it's a joke. I think he's gonna prank her. So it seems like even before meeting me, there was an anxiety that there was somehow a possibility of being pranked. And of course, I had no idea of this. Anyways, from 2017 until 2021, I was known for posting wild party content on my social media.
You were a dancing monkey.
Vulgar.
You were a dancing monkey. Doing dumb stuff. Lowbrow comedy. Yeah.
I started to feel this every time I was filming prank videos. And I moved away from pranks and interviews.
Yeah, because your prank videos for clowns.
Self-development content.
Self-development. You need self-development.
Through error. I'm not saying this to discredit judges, but okay? Most judges are legitimate, brilliant, like super geniuses. That's why there's so few judges, because it's incredibly hard to do. So while being as respectful as possible, what I'm saying is that my generation, it's different now. We live in an era of mass surveillance, media, police body.
It's not different. You just don't know how to have sex, and you're a wuss. You don't want to tell women how to have sex. Nothing has changed through sex. It's the same. The only thing is now beta males can get sex and be on because they're on the internet.
Here, let me try and dial it back. Filming a consent video is not a crime and is not what I was charged with. However,
Yeah, but you weren't trying to do a consent video. You were trying to get her. You were trying to do a video of her with her mouth on your dick. That's loser shit.
person was concerned about a video of them potentially being put online, and then in the evidence, there's a strong motive. They fabricated an assault in order to prevent a video of them potentially, in their mind, being put online.
That's a real fear, dude. That's why you don't do it on a first date.
And having to explain intimate details in front of your girlfriend, friends, your family, and
you don't have to do any of that if you would have told her, had the balls to tell her you're going on a fake date.
The newspaper making claims about you in front of literally your entire city. In my case, in Hamilton, 500,000 people, plus Toronto newspapers. So we're talking like millions of people. So despite all this pressure, you also have to try and remain calm, not emotional, but at the same time.
So have the balls to tell women you want to have sex with them right away. There's nothing wrong with it.
Immense anger about even being in this whole situation. So the whole thing was frustrating, gaslighting, anxiety.
Because you're a big pussy.
Terrible. And I'm sure it was terrible.
You were too much of a pussy.
Okay? But with that being said,
to say you really didn't want to go hiking.
Even remotely okay.
Big wuss.
Was wrong.
No, what you did was wrong. Fake hike. A fake hike. A fake hike. And then Netflix and chill. To get her naked and your dick in her. You're a big pussy.
It's gonna happen. When it's gonna happen. I'm just in this really f***ed up place right now. And it's terrifying. With that being said, an appeal is a lot different than a normal trial.
Okay, that's what it goes on, just the technicalities, whatever. Yeah, you already got convicted in a real trial.
If I had to go to prison for something I didn't do, it would literally ruin my life.
It won't.
And
you'd be fine. That's why you have sex the right way, with people who want to have sex with you.
I don't want to make this about me, but like, guys, this has been so fucked. Seriously. Like,
yeah, well,
aside from everything.
Don't have sex like a pussy.
I used to be confident, happy, optimistic, and I was proud.
But you weren't confident enough.
My ass off for years in construction to become an entrepreneur.
All right, we're done with him. But you weren't confident enough to tell a woman that you want to bang her when she gets to your house. All you had to do, instead of making a fake hiking date and then Netflix and chill and still never telling her. They don't like it. You tried to go through the indirect method, and that's not a good way to go, gentlemen. Be careful. Be careful. Be proud to be able to have sex with a woman. Make sure that she's proud to have sex with you. Make sure that you're very direct with your intentions. Make sure you build that sexual tension. Make sure you're a man worthy of having sex with. Knowing you're worthy of having sex with this guy. There's so many insecurities. There's so many other things we could go into. But he was insecure fellow that didn't believe he would deserve sex from a woman. So he fakes his way into it. They exchanged text messages, they were flirty, but guaranteed he never told her he wanted to have sex with her. Ever. That was his problem. And women deserve that. They deserve that. Now, no woman should be making false allegations, but at the same time, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, this is what they can do. So you don't worry about right, wrong, or indifferent. You worry about the game, and the game is they can. So put yourself in a situation to where you have sex like an alpha, not like a beta. And alphas don't mind telling a woman that's what they plan to do. Alphas don't have a insecurity or some moral code where they're too scared to tell a woman what they really want to do. Women already know what you want to do. Tell them. Make sure they know when they get there what's going to happen. And if they don't want to, absolutely, You give him the red carpet treatment on the way home, and you worry about him because you should have general concern about any woman trying to come meet you. Have respect. And don't be a clown like this prankster, low bar comedy guy who got famous in his beta male way, try to have beta male sex. Fake her into a date, fake her into sex, and then now it's going to be bad sex because this guy doesn't know how to have sex. He doesn't respect women. This is what gets him in trouble. See you on the next one.